All right, and we are live. Hi, everyone. It's your caseworker for Credo over at Dreamers Together, and my teammate Ellie. On the other side here, we're going to be doing this AOS live today, and we're going to be answering any general AOS questions that you may have. Now, just please keep in mind if you have any DACA related questions, head over to that DACA Facebook group.
Good morning,
How,
everyone.
how are you doing today, Ellie?
I'm doing good. It's been an exciting week so far.
Yes, it has lots of changes. Okay, so we are going to go through a few things today, such as RFEs. We are still seeing RFEs being issued. Therefore, make sure you are responding to those RFEs. If you're not sure how to respond to them or what to do, just book a general question session with us, and we'll be able to help you out. We can review those RFEs with you and we can kind of guide you on how to respond to them, or we can also prep that RFE for you. Obviously, depending on what it is as well. Now, Ellie,
hmm
we are still seeing RFEs, correct?
Yep. I actually logged in this morning and I have a RFE for 40 credits. We sent the exemption.
Hmm.
Beneficiary has 40 credits. We presented 40 credits. We presented all of their EADs. I knew we were going to get that RFE and we got it today. The receipt date is, I think it's been like 2, 3 weeks since we last that packet out.
Hmm.
And we just got that RFE this morning.
Okay, and I just want to let you guys know, don't, be alarmed if you get the RFE, just, respond to it. Um, upload into your USCIS account. That way the officer will have direct access to the RFE response. Um, I myself have also gotten RFEs in regards to the 10 years and the 40 credits. My client was still eligible to, ask for the exemption. I just resubmitted everything into their USCIS online account. Officer reviewed it and they now have an interview. So respond to that RFE and just please make sure you are again, don't be alarmed because, like I said, even if you are eligible, they are still RFing. Just resubmit everything into your USCIS online account, and hopefully the officer reviews it and submits an interview.
Yeah, just send it back. I have seen a lot of misleading misinformation here in the Facebook where people that are getting the RFEs and other people are posting under. You have to submit that I-864 either way, and that's not correct. It's either you're going to have that exemption based on having 40 credits with the Social Security Administration and presenting 10 years of your EADs, or submitting the I-864. It's not both of them. So please, if you're not sure how to answer, reach out, go back, look at our videos, but please don't submit that I-864 and the exemption. Now, if you want to do the I-864, you can, but you don't really have to do both of them. You don't have to do the exemption and the I-864. A lot of misinformation here in the comments.
Correct, because if you look at the I-485, it doesn't give you the option to do both. It's either or. Either you're asking for the exemption and you're submitting your Social Security statement and your EAD documents, or your petitioner's filing the traditional I-864. You cannot do both. It's either or.
Yep. So again, if you do have questions and you got an RFE, you can schedule an appointment. You can give us a call. You can visit our website and be sure to have your RFE ready so we can tell you what it is that you need to respond. There's two options. One, we're going to tell you what you really need to do. You're going to go do it, or you want us to prepare it depending on what it is that we're looking at. We may be able to prepare it and fees depending on what we're looking at. For that, you guys have to set up an appointment.
Correct. And also, please be aware that when you contact us in regards to your RFE, please also, we need to take a look at what you submitted. Sometimes you may have missed a card, or you have these, you don't have the 10 years and the 40 credits, whatever the case, or you have them, just please, also have your paperwork, ready. And, if you're able to present it to us even better and show us what you presented to USCIS so we can see and just make sure that, whether it was your error or not, we'd be able to identify the errors with you.
hmm I recommend for everybody that's going to be doing their adjustment of status case, I recommend that you print an extra copy of your packet. Now, I know that a lot of people here are working with attorneys, and there's nothing wrong with working an attorney. If that's what works out for you, that's good. But the attorneys have to give you a copy of your paperwork. A lot of
Yes.
issues that I'm seeing is that people, they're just being given the G28, they're just being given the I-485, the last page. They don't even get a chance to review their documents. And when they're working with some of these attorneys, they're not reviewing the paperwork and they're just sending it blindly. They're just signing off and then they don't even have a copy, and issues come up and they don't have a copy to reference back what was actually been sent. So I recommend two copies, one for you for your personal records and one for you to send to USCIS.
Yes, and always please keep in mind that even if you have an attorney prep your paperwork, please review it before you send it out because they basically go on what you say. And most of the time, if you do not tell them that you have an arrest and background checks are not done, they're going to document it that way. And then you're like, oh no, I did have an arrest, but I didn't, I didn't document it, or, so please be careful when you are submitting your applications. Um, like I said, we've had issues where they have the paperwork, the attorney has prepped it for them, but they never, reviewed it before they sent it out, and then they run into these errors. So that's why we stress the importance of we really stress the importance of you reviewing your paperwork before it goes out.
I cannot agree more. We have a few questions on the side. I'll click on them. And if you want to respond to this one, I think I already know the answer to this one. Adrian Ponce says, I have DACA. Is it possible to apply for a U visa after being a victim of a robbery at a fast food restaurant? There was a weapon involved. It was in 2017. I'll let you respond to that one, Fee.
Anything to do with the U visa is really out of our scope. Um, so I would say please hop onto our group and contact our vetted attorneys. They will be more than happy to help you. They deal with U visas and you know and they will thoroughly conduct a review of your case and see if you qualify.
Thank you. Okay. We have Ana Romero says, if my sponsor has a business, what does he need to present?
Okay, so if he is self-employed, so this is where some people have an issue. Okay, well, my spouse is self-employed, but he writes himself a check. Okay, that USCIS will still look at you like you are self-employed. So my advice for anyone that is self-employed, whether they are on a W-2 through their company, either combine incomes and hopefully your spouse is a W-2 employee, or get a joint sponsor because you don't want to, you're trying to avoid an RFE here, and by showing USCIS that you are self-employed, depending on the officer, you run the risk of an RFE.
I just think that when they're like self-employed, no, I'm not going to say I think because I know when they are self-employed and they are presenting these 1099s and they can have all this income, but USCIS doesn't see it as consistent income. They like that W-2, they like that
Hmm.
paycheck that the sponsors are getting every single week or bi-weekly, bi-monthly, how dependent, however they get paid. That's what they like to see. We do see a lot of issues with 1099s and self-employment. Stay away from those. Get a W-2 if this person has a business and they don't, they have a 1099 or they're just self-employed, just find someone else.
Now, we aren't going against USCIS because obviously they have instructions for self-employment and what you can submit to show them, that you have adequate funds and you make enough income. But the issue is, not every officer will accept it, and they want to see that steady income on a W-2 with, the steady paychecks coming in every week or biweekly. Um, but again, if you want to submit self-employment, income, that's totally up to you. But please know that you do run a risk of doing that.
Thank you. Um, let's see.
Okay, Ali, let's talk about interviews. So individuals they are attending their interviews, and it's working out. So there's no reason to be alarmed if you get an interview.
Everybody that I have, all of my cases are in an interview.
Every single one. Hmm.
Yes, every single one is getting an
Even
interview.
parent, even parent. even child to parent cases.
Mhm.
Mhm. Yeah.
Yep, even
So,
child to parent.
mhm. So again, just like Ellie said, you know, definitely print out your packet or review it. Have your notice, have all your originals that were submitted with the packet in a folder good to go. Make sure both you and your spouse sit down and review the packet. Just some tips in case they ask either of you where either of you works. And then obviously there, the marital aspect. If you really read through our Facebook group, you'll see that they do get asked questions like where they met, who was at their wedding, um, you know, things like that. So just please be prepared.
Yep. Be prepared to answer all of the questions. I sat down with a couple one day, and I was kind of just telling them, what it was like to be their interview, and I said, "What's the date of birth for your children?" And he didn't know, so he's a dad. Dads don't know
Yeah.
dates of birth, but very important. Go over those questions because you will be
Yes.
asking. You want to be prepared.
Hmm. Yep. Even spouses, like sometimes spouses are married for so long, they're like, wait a minute, did I miss? Oh, wait, my spouse's birthday was yesterday.
And
So,
they're like, "Wait, I can't remember my when I got married."
yeah, exactly. Or sometimes they're like, I had my court wedding on this date, but my ceremony on this date. You know what I mean? And that's
Hmm.
okay. As long as you remember your court date, you know what I mean? You can let them know, my court date and then my ceremony date. As long as you remember that date, you sign that marriage. Well, the marriage date on that marriage certificate.
Hmm. And remember, one thing I actually saw was, well, one thing I see a lot of things here in the Facebook groups, and I'm like, oh, I'll remember to touch on that whenever we do our lives. Remember, a marriage certificate is not the same thing as a marriage license, okay? Whenever you're submitting your adjustment of status, you have to submit the marriage certificate.
Certificate.
The marriage license is the license, the permission that the state is giving you to perform a marriage. The marriage license is signed. I'm sorry, the marriage certificate is once you've officially
Hmm.
signed, you go back, you take it, and you get it recorded. That's the marriage certificate. So, very careful with that because I think I was reading somebody over here didn't know that they had to take it back and get it recorded, and I don't know, their marriage may not be legitimate. Um, so also very careful on that.
And also, divorce decrees. When your current spouse is petitioning for you, obviously you have to submit a divorce decree to USCIS to prove that, you were divorced from your prior spouse and you have a right to be married to your current spouse. Because that divorce is official, please get a court certified copy with that stamp. It's very, very important.
Also, another thing, marriages in other countries, they are valid in the US. So
Yes,
if
they
you're
are.
from another country and you got married, you got separated, and you did not file a divorce, it be in your country, it be in the United States, and you are not legally divorced, and you are now married in the US, you're going to have issues. Those
Correct.
marriages count in the US. Okay. So you still have to terminate marriages that were performed outside of the US as well.
Correct. So that's very, very important when you are, whether someone is prepping your AOS packet for you or you're prepping yourself. If you had a marriage in another country and it resulted in a divorce, you have to document that. You have to count that marriage you know, and the number of times you've been married, and you need that divorce decree from that country. And if that divorce decree is not in English, you need to have it you need to have it translated into English with a certification as well.
Hmm. We have a question. It says, my spouse files for self employed. Will that be a problem?
Again, we just spoke about this, Maria. You run the risk of an RFE if your spouse is your petitioner and he wants to fill out the I-64 based on his self-employment information. You run the risk. So you can either add in your income if you guys live together, and if you are a W-2 employee, or you can just get a joint sponsor.
Hmm.
Cecilia,
Okay.
hello, Cecilia. I am waiting for AP approval. Receipt date Jan 17. Can I schedule an appointment for AOS, or just wait until AP gets approved? Um, well, we have had cases where the AP has been approved and they're about to travel and they do reach out to us and they have a consultation and we go through everything and they hire us and they let us know, okay, when we get back from AP, I want to start my case. So when they get back, they let us know and then we send them the folder and we do the whole process. So ideally your AP is not approved yet, right? You are waiting for the AP approval. I would honestly wait just to be safe. When you get that approval and you're good to go, and then reach out to us. What do you think, Ellie?
I would say that before this administration, it was probably okay because we knew that they were working time
Yeah,
like in order. But right now, the receipt dates for AP, they're just all over the place. So we don't really know when you're going to be approved. I
yeah.
actually do have a case like Cecilia's that we're waiting on that AP to be approved. We have everything. We're waiting for that AP to be approved, and my client needs to travel and come back. Once they return, they have that legal entry. Now they'll be eligible for AOS. Then we'll be able to send their packet out. The thing about it is we don't know when that AP is
Time
going to be
frame.
approved.
Mm-hmm.
We don't know, so we may have to, go back, take a step back, and just update some information, which is not bad. But I would probably say right now it's probably,
Mm-hmm.
probably best to wait just because we don't know the time frame. How long it's going to take for that AP to be approved. It can be months. They're just jumping all over the place. Okay, I'm going to answer this one. It says, how long does it take to send AOS out if I do it with y'all? Um, I will say it really depends. It depends on the response that we also have from the clients. We do have, I will say, a goal, and this goal is spoken when you set up an appointment with us, but it also depends a lot on how responsive you are. If we're asking for things and we're getting them back pretty quickly and we're moving, then it's going to be in the time that we speak about during the consultation. But if we're asking for things and we're not getting them on time, or the response has been delayed, then we can't meet that time frame that was promised, or not promised, but that was given as an expectation during our consultation. Whenever you guys book a consultation with us, please ask this question: how long is it going to take? And we will explain this, and I explain this to all my clients. This is my expected time frame, but it also depends how soon we get all the things that are being requested. And there's I will say it's not going to say be 6 months or a year, because I have seen a lot of cases, a lot of people here on the Facebook group comment that they're waiting for their packet with an attorney, and it's been 6 months. It's not going to be 6 months with us. um, so yeah, definitely ask this question, and it does vary. It does vary. So ask, and we can explain all of this during our consultation. Okay, I'm going to read this one and I'm going to let you answer it. It says, Victor, do DACA recipients have to leave the country if sponsored by wife?
What do they mean by sponsored by wife? Is it filing the I-130 and consular processing?
I think the important question here is, Victor, do you already have a legal entry through
Correct.
AP, or having a visa overstay, or do you have 245I protection? Are you a derivative of a 245I? Um, I think that's what we need to know. I think he's referring to the legal entry.
Yeah, so let us know, do you have the legal entry? Um, did you do your could you possibly be a derivative of 245I? Um, if you don't qualify for either of these things, then you would need to obviously consular process. So please let us know if you have that legal entry, Victor, whether it be, again, the advanced parole that you completed, the 245I that you may be a derivative from, or the visa overstay.
Hmm. If you don't have AP, join the Facebook group. I'm gonna actually put the link, not the link, but I'm gonna put the name. I think that's the way it's written out. Let me check here. Okay, this is the way that it's written out. If you want to, I put it right there. Dreamers Together official. If you are new to Dreamers Together, um, you can join also our other Facebook group, and there we talk about DACA renewals. We talk about advanced parole. This one, the AOS, we talk about adjustment of status. We talk about citizenships.
Jose, hello, Jose. I did AP last year. My husband is a green card holder and we did an I-130. Any idea how long it will take to be approved? To be honest, if you did just the I-130 is alone, those things are taking a while. I saw one recently approved. It took 3 years.
3 years for the I-130. Wow,
3
that's a
years.
long
Just
time.
for the I-130, so anywhere from 1 to 3, just for the I-130 alone. Um, but obviously, if you did your AP and it's okay if you have a pending I-130, just take that receipt and add it to the rest of your packet.
They can't because the spouse is a green card holder. They have to be a citizen, so they can't do
Oh,
adjustment of
that's right.
status.
I'm
They have
sorry. I
to be
thought
consular process.
that's right. I'm sorry. I read that wrong. I did AP last year. My husband is a green card holder. That's right. It would be consular processing because your spouse is a green card holder. So I'm going to be honest. Like I said, I just saw a case where they're going to consular process and their I-130 was just approved. It can take anywhere, I want to say, from 8 months to obviously, and this was a family member, 3 years.
And then you're gonna have to, once the I-130 is approved, you're gonna have to request a waiver. The waiver itself for unlawful presence, if you need one, it's taking about 4 to 5 years.
Hmm.
Once your waiver is approved, then you'll have to complete your process. Remember, we don't do consular process. For that, we do recommend that you reach out to an attorney. But
Yes.
Jose and Mayra Villa, your case is not going to be adjustment of status like the cases that we talk about here. It's going to be consular
Consular
process.
processing. Hmm.
The petitioner has to be a citizen with that legal entry in order to do adjustment of status. So an option is filing for citizenship, then following through with the adjustment of
Yeah.
status.
And if you are doing consular processing, just please be aware that you need that I-601A waiver to be approved
Hmm.
before you leave the country and file the rest of the
Yes.
paperwork. And obviously, we do not do consular processing, so please reach out to one of our vetted attorneys on our list in our Facebook group.
Okay. Victor has a response. He says, I haven't started my process. I'm just a DACA recipient. Okay. If you're married to a U.S. citizen, you need to go to the other group and start your advanced parole. Okay. You need to get that legal entry so that the process will be here in the U.S. You do have to travel outside of the U.S. either way. So, one, you have either to travel with AP and get the legal entry or do consular process, which we do not recommend at all. Get your legal entry, get AP, book an appointment, start advanced parole. You can start
Hmm.
it with Dreamers together. Go back to the other, go back. I'm like, go
Yeah.
back
And let me tell you
to
something,
the
Victor.
other.
It depends on the cases. Again, we have cases, especially I'm noticing down south, they're just taking, longer, but other parts of the country they're moving. So if you can get that AP done, come back and, come back, get your AOS process started, even better. So go hop onto the other group like Ellie says and get your AP going.
And guess what? I just got right now I'm sorry to interrupt. I just got a notification, and the notification is from USCIS starting that there has been a decision in one of my cases, and it is for, let me tell you, it's refreshing. Um, it's for an I-130 approval. It was approved today, July the 9th.
Okay.
Hmm.
Yeah. So was it just the I-130 that you had submitted, Ellie?
We did the I-130 and the I-485. So
Oh, concurrent. Okay.
this one just came in, the I-130 approval. So maybe I'll get another approval today or tomorrow on that I-485. So
Nice.
exciting. I have to see who it is.
Yeah, concurrent package, nice.
Yes.
Okay, hi Claudia. My son is a U.S. citizen and currently 17 years old. He is considering enlisting in the U.S. Armed Forces next year. If our son enlists in the military next year, would my husband qualify for place? While we wait for our son to turn 21 and petition for a green card for us. Thank you. Let's see. Ellie, would you like to take this one?
Hmm. Um, Whenever your child enlists, and he's going to be able to apply, of course, that military parole in place. Basic information, yes, your husband would, taking that there's
Hmm.
nothing on his background that would prevent him from qualifying for military parole in place. You do have to wait for your son to turn 21 to
21.
petition for a green card. During this time, you can request an employment authorization document for your husband to work while he is waiting. And now, if you have other children, you can combine that military parole in place and have another child that is already 21 petition for you. But if this is your only child or your oldest child, then yes, you're going to have to wait until the child is 21. But
Yes. It's worth
years
it.
go by fast.
Yeah,
Hmm.
not only that, you can also renew that MPIP.
Hmm.
So until that child turns 21, apply for it, make sure you qualify for it, and you can also renew it.
Mhm.
Oh, there's one thing I want to touch on with the MPIPs. Just please make sure to check, okay? If you are a visa overstay, anything like that, you have that legal entry, so you can always wait if you choose not to do MPIP or you don't qualify. You can always wait till your child turns 21, then they can petition for you.
Mhm. Not related to AOS, but wanted to ask, how did you guys get involved with Dreamers Together? Volunteer. If you want to get involved with Dreamers Together,
Hmm.
become a volunteer. We love volunteers. Volunteers is what helps run this group.
Yes.
I think
So
volunteers at Dreamers Together.
yep, and you are truly appreciated. So if you are thinking about volunteering, definitely get in touch with us.
Yes. And the email for that is volunteer@dreamerstogether.org.
Salvador. Hello, Salvador. I'm a DACA recipient, did advanced parole in 2025. I have an 18-year-old U.S. citizen daughter. What can I do to protect myself and my wife? I have 40 points with the Social Security. Okay. You completed your AP and your daughter is 18, okay, and she's a U.S. citizen. All right. So the only way really you can protect yourself before your daughter turns 21 is if we go back to what we were talking about earlier, if she enlists, okay? If she enlists, then you can apply for military parole in place. You would still have to wait until she's 21 years old to have her petition for you. So basically, right now, the only other way you can really get protection until she's 21. First of all, you have DACA. You are a DACA recipient. Keep DACA active, keep it current, make sure you're renewing on time. You did your AP. So, really, ideally, all you would do is just wait until she's 21 so she can petition for you.
Hmm. And I will say stay out of trouble.
Yes.
Okay? Stay out of
Because,
trouble.
yes, because, there's so many laws changing. And really, yes, like Ali said, try to avoid anything and everything right now.
Make sure your car has insurance, no drinking while driving, no DUIs, anything that could possibly prevent you from renewing your DACA. You want to avoid everything and anything. That's going to be your best protection, and wait until your child turns 21.
Yes. And, even the seatbelt, please. You don't want to get pulled over. And depending on the officer, you don't want to get in trouble for not having a seatbelt on. So, put that seatbelt on. Especially right now, you just don't know.
Hmm.
And I also want to answer one more thing for you, Salvador. When the time comes and your 21-year-old citizen daughter is going to be, when the time comes for her to petition for you, you have the 10 years and the 40 credits. Your daughter will not have to submit the 864. So you are a DACA recipient. Keep your DACA active. You have your AP, which is your legal entry. When your daughter turns 21, she will file the AOS, the petition for you with the rest of the packet. And you have the 10 years and the 40 credits. All you're going to have to do is submit your social security statement and all your EAD cards, and your daughter will not have to submit the I-864, obviously, when she turns 21 and she's able to petition for you.
Okay. I think I have to go because I do have an appointment. We can come back next week, Fee.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hmm. Yep. I'm just going
Okay.
to answer these. I just have like three more, and then, we will see you guys next week.
Okay.
Let's
I will
see.
leave you. And we'll see everybody next week, but I am going
Okay.
to leave.
Yes,
Okay.
I
Thank you.
have an appointment as well in about like 5 minutes. Okay.
Okay.
So, hi, for AOS, do you guys recommend to send the I-130 online or by mail with the rest of the packet? Recommend sending the whole packet out together, the I-130 with the rest of the packet. That way, one officer will have the whole case, obviously in front of them. Hello, Jean. So I applied for my AP and it has been almost 4 months. What now? They're taking a little more than that. Like Ellie said, they are not going in order. So, just hold on tight for a few more months and, um, you know, file inquiry. Hello, Claudia. I'm a DACA recipient with a legal entry, but my husband doesn't have anything with the current administration. We are very concerned. Um, you know, it is a concern right now, and that's why I say, book a consultation. Maybe, one of our attorneys can help you, and sometimes people don't know if they can adjust or not. So, do you guys offer FOIA services? I follow the guys, just want to know if I did it correctly. I've seen a lot of people post that they don't do it correctly. Just want to know if I did it correctly. You can always book a Q&A with us, and you can submit your FOIA to us, and we can take a look for you, Saul, and then we can, advise you on any further steps you need to take. Okay, guys, that's it for today. I will see you all next week with Ellie, same time, Wednesday, 11 a.m. Take care.